The one piece of evidence police ignored. That changes everything. On January 13th, 1999, what began as an ordinary winter day in Baltimore County, Maryland, quietly became the starting point of one of the most debated criminal cases in modern American history. That afternoon, Hae Min Lee, an 18-year-old senior at Woodlawn High School, vanished without a trace. Hae was not the kind of person who disappeared. She was responsible, driven, and deeply connected to her family. Enrolled in the school's competitive magnet program, she was known for her academic excellence and discipline. She was also athletic, a member of the girls' lacrosse team, and widely admired by classmates and teachers alike. Friends described her as kind, warm, and dependable. Her diary, later reviewed by investigators, painted the picture of a young woman dreaming about college, independence, love, and the future, waiting just ahead. The day she disappeared followed a routine that was well established. After school, Hae was supposed to pick up her 6-year-old cousin from daycare. It was a responsibility she took seriously and almost never missed. When she failed to arrive by 3:30 p.m., concern set in quickly. Calls went unanswered. By evening, with no explanation and no contact from Hae, her family contacted the police. Hae Min Lee was officially reported missing. What followed would unfold into a mystery that has endured for decades. Hae was last seen around 2:15 p.m. leaving Woodlawn High School in her gray 1998 Nissan Sentra. She told friends she had errands to run before heading to the daycare. There was no indication she felt unsafe or distressed. Nothing about that afternoon suggested it would be her last. Then, she vanished. For nearly a month, investigators found nothing. No credible sightings, no phone calls, no confirmed leads. Friends searched, family waited, hope slowly eroded. On February 9th, 1999, the case took a grim turn. A maintenance worker named Alonzo Sellers was in Leakin Park, a vast wooded area outside Baltimore known for its isolation and grim reputation as a dumping ground for bodies. While relieving himself, he noticed something unnatural. A patch of disturbed earth. Police were called, and soon the truth emerged. The body buried there was Hae Min Lee. She had been placed in a shallow grave, partially concealed with leaves, soil, and rocks. The autopsy revealed she had been manually strangled. Her hyoid bone was fractured, a common indicator of strangulation. There were no signs of sexual assault or robbery, suggesting the crime was personal rather than opportunistic. Later, her Nissan Sentra was discovered abandoned behind a row of houses several miles away. The investigation shifted immediately from missing person to homicide. Detectives quickly turned their attention to Adnan Syed, Hae's 17-year-old ex-boyfriend. Adnan and Hae had dated secretly for nearly a year. Both came from conservative families. Hae was Korean-American, Adnan Pakistani-American, and their cultures strongly discouraged teenage relationships. Their romance unfolded quietly, hidden from parents but known among close friends. They broke up in late 1998, just weeks before Hae disappeared. Friends later told police that Adnan seemed affected by the breakup. Hae's diary entries suggested emotional distance and a desire to move forward. She had begun dating someone new, a coworker named Don. Adnan claimed he had accepted the breakup and felt no resentment. He was popular, well-spoken, and a track athlete. Teachers and classmates described him as polite and respectful. On the surface, nothing about him suggested he was capable of murder. But then came a tip. On February 1st, an anonymous caller contacted police and urged them to look closely at Adnan Syed. The call changed the direction of the investigation. Shortly afterward, police spoke to Jay Wilds. Jay Wilds was a 19-year-old acquaintance of Adnan who occasionally sold marijuana. What he told police would become the foundation of the prosecution's case. Jay claimed that Adnan confessed to killing Hae out of heartbreak and jealousy. According to Jay, on January 13th, Adnan asked to borrow his car and cell phone, claiming he needed to get Hae alone. Jay alleged that Adnan strangled Hae in her car in the parking lot of a Best Buy store sometime between 2:15 and 2:36 p.m. Jay said a call from Adnan's phone to his pager marked the moment of the killing. Later, Jay claimed Adnan showed him Hayes' body in the trunk of her car. He described her lips as blue and said Adnan asked him for help. That evening, Jay alleged, the two buried Hayes' body in Leakin Park using shovels taken from Jay's grandmother's house. He said the burial was completed around 7 p.m. Jay's story was inconsistent in places, and his timeline shifted over multiple interviews. Still, police found his account compelling for one key reason. Jay led them to Hayes' car, a detail they believed only someone involved in the crime would know. Cell phone records seemed to support parts of Jay's account. Adnan's phone showed calls to Jay that day, including 2 calls that pinged cell towers near Leakin Park around 7:09 and 7:16 p.m. Additional witnesses added weight to the case. Jennifer Pusateri said Jay told her about the murder on the night it occurred. Christy Vinson recalled Adnan acting strange and panicked at her apartment around 6:00 p.m. A classmate named Laura testified that she overheard Adnan ask Hay for a ride after school because his car was supposedly in the shop, a claim Adnan later denied. On February 28, 1999, Adnan Syed was arrested. Adnan was charged with first-degree murder, kidnapping, robbery, and false imprisonment. His first trial in December 1999 ended in a mistrial after a juror overheard a conversation involving the judge. A second trial began in January 2000. Prosecutors argued the murder was premeditated and driven by jealousy. They painted Adnan as a young man who could not accept Hay moving on. Jay Wilde's testimony was central to their case. The defense attacked Jay's credibility, highlighting his inconsistent statements and the plea deal he received for accessory after the fact. They suggested Jay could have been more deeply involved in the crime. Adnan chose not to testify. He maintained that he was at school, then the library, and later at the mosque. One potential alibi stood out. Asia McLean said she saw Adnan in the Woodlawn Public Library between 2:20 and 2:40 p.m., a window that contradicted the prosecution's timeline. Despite letters she wrote to Adnan and his attorney, defense lawyer Cristina Gutierrez never called Asia to testify. That decision would later become one of the most criticized aspects of the case. On February 25, 2000, the jury convicted Adnan Syed in less than 3 hours. He was sentenced to life in prison, plus 30 years. The case appeared closed. In 2014, the story returned to public attention in a dramatic way. Serial, a podcast hosted by Sarah Koenig, examined the case in detail. The podcast raised questions about Jay's shifting accounts, the reliability of cell tower data, and the ignored library alibi. Serial revealed that the cell phone records used at trial included a cover sheet warning that incoming calls were unreliable for location tracking, a fact not emphasized to the jury. The podcast also highlighted lividity evidence suggesting Hayes' body may not have been buried at the time Jay claimed, conflicting with his timeline. No DNA evidence linked Adnan to Hayes' body. Public interest surged. Documentaries, books, and legal appeals followed. In 2016, a judge granted Adnan a new trial, citing ineffective assistance of counsel. However, Maryland's higher courts later reversed the decision. The legal battle continued. In September 2022, a major development occurred. Baltimore prosecutors vacated Adnan Syed's conviction. New DNA testing on Hayes' clothing and fingernails found no trace of Adnan. Prosecutors disclosed that 2 alternative suspects, both with violent histories, had not been properly shared with the defense. One had allegedly threatened Hay. Brady violations were acknowledged. Evidence had been withheld. On September 19, 2022, Adnan Syed was released after spending 23 years in prison. Charges were dropped the following month. Hay Min Lee's family expressed profound pain and anger, stating they felt justice had been taken away. Today, Adnan Syed's guilt remains legally unproven, and Hay Min Lee's murder, while technically closed, remains unresolved in the public consciousness. It is a case shaped not just by evidence, but by what may have been overlooked. A single assumption, a single piece of doubt, and the enduring question of whether the truth has ever been fully known.